Joining me right now to talk more about it is Sean Spicer. He is Communications Director for the Republican National Committee. Also joining me here on set, Ed Rollins is joining me right now, former campaign manager for the Reagan-Bush ticket in '84, chief strategist, Great America PAC, Trump Super PAC. Good to see you both. Thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen. Sean, good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. Let me kick it off with the Gettysburg speech yesterday. How would you characterize it? What did you think?
Well, it was a very detailed plan. You know exactly where Donald Trump stands on a variety of these issues in terms of national security, foreign policy, tax policy, creating a true contrast with Hillary Clinton into this final key point before the election. So that if people want to know what the difference between a Hillary Clinton administration is versus a Donald Trump, they got it yesterday. Detailed on economic policy, on foreign policy, infrastructure, education. He enumerated exactly where he's going to take this country and the vision that he wants to lay out and give people that choice. The interesting thing, Maria, is that there truly is a choice in this election. Hillary Clinton's been trying to paint Donald Trump as this risky choice because she has this trust problem with the American people. But if you look at Hillary Clinton's record, she's the one with a risky, detailed record. Whether it was Libya or Syria or the failed Russian reset or her handling of classified information, it is her record that shows that there truly is a choice. She is the risky choice that Americans need to be concerned with when it comes to who's going to have trust of the American people, classified information, and trust of our foreign policy. She has failed over and over again. She is truly that risky choice as we head into this final stretch.
Which is why Ed Rollins, he came out with details in terms of breaking the so-called corruption that he sees and the fact that he came out with 28 specific things that he's going to do in that regard.
This was the best speech he's given. Obviously, he got distracted by his attempts to go after the women who've accused him of things. He needs to just not get distracted. He needs to stay right focused on this message. He may pick different places to argue the different points, but it's a good comprehensive plan, and my sense, if he does nothing but talk about it for the next 10 days, he'll do much better than he is today in the polls, and certainly has a shot at winning it. It's obviously Sean is the key here. Sean's RNC and his colleagues there have a very, very big role in this campaign, and that's finding our voters and getting into the polls, and I think they'll do a superb job.
What about that, Sean? Because even with just 2 weeks to go before this election, you don't have the high-profile names within the RNC out there, like Paul Ryan, you know, and people are wondering if, in fact, this lack of unity actually hurts Trump.
Well, obviously, as we continue to go into the final 16 days, we need every Republican on board. We need more independents. We need some more Democrats. I think we've assembled probably the most comprehensive ground game that any party's ever seen. If you look at where we are in returns, we're ahead of where we were right now in Florida. We're ahead in places compared to 4 years ago in Iowa, in Ohio, in Nevada. We are bringing people home. We are getting them out early to vote. We are getting those absentee ballots into people's hands and then making sure they return them. We've got our work cut out for us. There's no question about it. But we're going to keep working 24 hours a day for these final 16 days to make sure that we put that closing argument in front of people, that comprehensive list of issues that Donald Trump laid out yesterday. We need to keep talking about, making sure that press is well known, and that'll propel us to victory on November 8th.
When you look at the electoral map, though, I mean, is it even possible that he could win, given the votes that you're expecting?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that anyone who says that they can't really it's a shame on them, because the American people are ready for change. And I think that Hillary Clinton clearly epitomizes the status quo and the establishment. And her and Tim Kaine probably have more time in Washington than any candidates in recent history. So if people are ready for change, they can. And you look at states like Ohio, Florida, Nevada, New Hampshire, they're all in play. Iowa. We are continuing to see a path and a lean forward in the last few days where all the polls are starting to shift back in Donald Trump's favor because people, I think, are finally ready for change, and they're going to get out there and vote.
That's the thing, Ed. They're looking at this as a movement, not necessarily just for the man.
Well, it is a movement, and I think what he has to talk about repeatedly is together we will change Washington. I'm happy to lead this revolution, but together I need a Senate, I need House members, I need a whole team here, and obviously I'm willing to put myself on the line to go do what you need to have done.
You know, when you look at what's coming out of the Hillary Clinton campaign right now, Sean, it's almost like they're expecting that she's won this already. They're focused now on these down-ballot races. Let's go through some of those races. What are you looking at closest? Which races do you think are most important for the GOP to keep, whether it's the House or Senate?
Well, I think we're going to do fine in the House. We've got a 30-seat majority there. I think we'll maintain that. Paul Ryan will be Speaker again in the Senate. We've got a 4-seat majority there. We've got a lot of close races. But the difference between this cycle and past cycles is that every one of these individuals went in 2, 3, 4 years ago in some cases and has really been focused on their state, on a level of accomplishments, building a world-class campaign. So whether it's Pat Toomey in Pennsylvania, Rob Portman in Ohio, Marco Rubio in Florida, Joe Heck in Nevada, Kelly Ayotte in New Hampshire. Every single one of them, sure, they've got a tough race, but they have gone out, talked about issues that are important to their state, put a world-class campaign together, raised the appropriate amount of money, and I think in every one of them, you start looking at the trend lines, and they're going to win.
And so many of them, we know that they're not out there campaigning for Donald Trump.
Well,
Ed, is that the smart move?
Well, the key thing at this point in time is there are going to be Trump voters out there that traditionally wouldn't vote for a Republican, and we've got to convince them that the team, again, is what's important. So you've got to make sure whoever you're turning out as Trump voters, which Sean and his team will do, that they're going to vote down the ticket, too.
What is resonating mostly?
And that's the thing, is that one of the things that makes this cycle really unique is that almost every single Senate state is also a battleground state. So whether it's Iowa, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Florida, Ohio, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, they are all Senate states and battleground states. So when we go in, there is this unity of effort that is like nothing that's ever been seen before. So I know a lot of times the mainstream media likes to talk about disunity in the Republican Party, but Ed's absolutely right. When you go turn a voter out to vote early or absentee or even get them out on election day, you're turning that voter out to vote for the entire ticket. And it's not always 100%, but the reality is that whether you're running for the Senate or president, you get that we need every single Republican and right-leaning independent and even soft Democrats to come out and vote for our entire ticket. That's what we're focused on, and because the uniqueness of this cycle is such that you have all of these Senate battleground states being presidential battleground states, it actually makes a unity of effort and efficiency like nothing that we've ever seen before.
And the voter turnout in terms of enthusiasm seems to be on the Republican side.
It does, yes, absolutely. And I think part of the problem is that there's very little excitement for the status quo with Hillary Clinton. She's been around for 30 years. She's got this major trust issue. So even if you're a solid Democrat, you're really not happy about voting for Hillary Clinton. Yeah,
we're going to talk about the WikiLeaks coming up because this Morocco exchange seems to be really damning, Ed. In terms of this Gettysburg speech yesterday, do you think it's too little too late? Do you think it resonated? I agree with you. It was probably his best speech yet.
I think it's the right message. He's got to drive it. One speech doesn't ever do it. I mean, you literally have 6-7 days of big speeches here ahead. You got to get by next weekend. You have to really turn this thing around. Obviously, polls are going to come out this week. Probably close the race somewhat, but he's got to basically make the final sale. He's a great salesman, a great marketer. He's got to go market himself and market his vision for the country.
Yeah, the polls after the debate are going to be really important to look at, and we'll do that. Ed Rollins, good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Sean Spicer, always a pleasure. Thanks so much, sir.
Thanks, Maria.
We will talk to you soon, gentlemen.